This is a bit of business on behalf of learmedia.tv and the British and Irish Trading Alliance. Welcome to the show. My name is John Fitzgerald. A bit of business brings together interesting topics and interesting people for the BITA community and our wider business global audience. The topic for our discussion today is BITA Up North, and I am referring to the north of England specifically. We have three special guests joining us today: Sarah McCartney, Shane Hanley, and Ches Molton. Sarah McCartney, in addition to being chair of BITA Liverpool, also runs her own very successful marketing consultancy called SLMC Consulting. She brings a huge breadth of senior management and leadership experience to the table for all of her clients and has significant cross-functional experience in sales, marketing, and customer service. She has been there and done it. Now she helps her clients to do exactly the same. Shane Hanley is the newest BITA Liverpool board member and is a very successful serial entrepreneur. After working for the family firm of used office furniture in Galway in Ireland, he headed for pastures new in Liverpool, and he liked it so much that he stayed. Shane then set up Go Green Office Furniture in September 2014, and its massive warehouse stocks thousands of items of new furniture to equip the boardroom or the reception area, along with desks, chairs, and storage units to furnish offices. Ches Molton is a board member of BITA Leeds, the newest BITA chapter. He is also known as the Stress Master and is a leading authority on stress management. His career spans more than 25 years, during which time he has been a highly sought-after executive coach, psychotherapist, and trainer. During his time as a business performance consultant, Ches has served as an advisor to both private businesses and government in Canada, the Caribbean, United Kingdom, Africa, and the Middle East. He is also the author of the international bestseller, Choice and Change. That's it, folks. Please do remember to visit the BITA website, bita.ie, and check out news about members, upcoming events, and ongoing important initiatives like the Be Plastic Aware campaign, which is drawing attention to plastic pollution and the steps we can all take to reduce the amount of plastic we use every single day. Sarah, Shane, and Ches coming up next. Please do stay tuned. Okay, we're now live with Sarah McCartney, Shane Hanley, and Ches Molton. Welcome to you all.
Morning.
Morning, John.
Hello.
So our first question today is from a viewer in County Cork in Ireland, and this is a fun one. Please ask the panel, who is the most famous person you've ever met, and did you get their autograph? Let's start with you first, Sarah.
So probably the most famous person I've met would be Ian Botham. I met him over in Tobago a number of years ago at a golf match. So really good guy, very friendly. Walked around a whole golf course with him for a few hours, but no autograph, but lots of alcohol was consumed, as you can probably imagine. So yeah,
lovely location.
Interesting guy. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Shane, yourself?
I'll keep him within BITA, and where we have the events, I'd have to say the legend himself, John Barnes. We've met him on a launch night out one night, had a good conversation with him, and a really down-to-earth good guy.
Very good. And Ches?
I had the opportunity to be on some business in the Oval in Bridgetown in Barbados one day, and as we were concluding our business, I happened to look over, and Brian Lara was coming off the field from his batting practice, and he was the only one having batted. It was only three of us in the entire Oval. And I asked the gentleman who I was conducting the business with if he'd introduce me. So he did. We chatted for about 15 minutes, and he was happy enough to give me his autograph.
Oh, wow. Evidence to back it up as well. Very good.
Appreciate that.
Excellent. Well, look, our topic today is BITA Up North, and you're all flying the flag for BITA Liverpool and BITA Leeds, so no pressure there. And I want to touch on several areas, but let me start with you, Sarah, and go back in time a little to 2017 when BITA Liverpool first started. If I go to Google and type in business networking in Liverpool, I get about 1.8 million hits. So I guess the message is there's lots of choice in Liverpool from a networking perspective. So what attracted you to BITA in the first instance, and why did you get involved?
So yeah, you're absolutely right, John. When you do search Liverpool and networking, you could network every day of the week at a number of times of the day. But the thing for me with BITA, I was introduced to it through a luncheon by one of my clients. And it was such a refreshing group of people, an amazing community that were very engaged with the people and how we could build that like-minded business presence without the pressure from a lot of networking that you see, which is very specific on referrals and who do you know today and what can you achieve for us today. And BITA just seemed that refreshing approach, that it was more about that relationship and the long game. And a lot of business gets done, but it was just a really nice environment. And I met Paul Whitnell at that luncheon at the Hard Day's Night Hotel, which our luncheons are infamous. I know Shane referred to them earlier with our friend from Liverpool Football Club. That's where we hold ours. And what he was trying to achieve and grow from what he'd started was just an amazing opportunity to get involved and support that network.
And it's been quite a journey since then, with significant growth for BITA Liverpool, and you're up to 50 members or so now.
Yeah, we've just hit over 50 members, and we're just in the process of expanding our board. So the last 12 months has been an interesting challenge since COVID. So we've obviously had to move everything from our normal outdoor sort of networking on a monthly basis and on our quarterly luncheons. We've had to move everything online, and that's weekly. So it's been a tough old year, but we've grown still. We've had new members grow through the year and join us, and now we've got our expanded board to really help us shift and engage with a number of more construction-centric businesses up here. Although we're not limited to construction, we do see that is an area we really want to focus on for now, and that's where Shane comes in, being a member for a number of years, and has now joined my board officially last week.
Well, congratulations, Shane. And that's part of the reason I was interested in having you on the show today, because you've been a member company and now you're joining the board with Sarah. And clearly you've gone on a bit of a journey as well. Can you talk us through, again, why you were attracted to BITA and then why you decided to join the board?
I think I was invited to a dinner in Anfield, the stadium where the events are held, in 2018, I think it was. So I went there and I was blown away with the turnout of the people, the caliber of businesses that were in there. And then I met with Sarah and then with Paul. And then we progressed to meetings after that, and we become very close. And we were a very young company, hadn't really got any direction of where we were going. So by sitting with the team, there was a lot of input from BITA that could help us grow into a professional company that we are today. So since that day, I think as all the members and people involved, we all became very close friends and doing business without any pressure. Whereas a lot of the other networking groups was all about money, this and get this in and get this person in, and it wasn't enjoyable. So I think as time progressed, we were doing a lot with BITA, helping them. I enjoyed it, so it wasn't like it was work. So a year later, we actually won Small Business of the Year award in the Savoy, which was a big achievement, and it came as a massive shock to us on the night, as you can remember, Sarah. It was a moment I'll remember. It'll go down in history. I had the grandfather with me.
Yeah.
So I think everyone on the night still remembers that moment.
That's it.
So I think moving along, privileged to be asked to be on the board, but I feel before this, I feel like I was part of the board and I was very involved with BITA. So it's just the next progression for me, and looking forward to 2020 was a difficult year, but we're in 21. We've all got through it. We all stuck together. And as Sarah said, we've got a very strong board now. And there's some big things going to happen up the Northwest and throughout the whole of the UK and Ireland within BITA. So I guess it's just getting everything back to normal, where we can all travel, get back to what BITA do best, is networking, holding events and interacting with each other. I find the interaction, even with Paul and Sarah throughout lockdown, they were still very active. We were still in regular contact, whereas all the other networking groups, I haven't really seen or heard much of them. So that's a big one for us. And I get people always asking me, what about BITA? What's this? What's that? And I just give them little introductions, and you find your own way. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of these people have just joined, haven't they, Sarah?
Yeah.
So
It's been amazing.
Yeah,
and I think you touched on something there, the last 12 months being a bit of a challenge. And I'll come back to that in a second, because there's been a definite evolution across BITA over the last 12 months for good cause and good reason. And we'll touch on that in a second. But just before I do that, Chess, you're a veteran of several BITA chapters. So you're now involved as a board member with BITA Leeds. And the newest chapter, and launching sort of back end of last year, mid-pandemic. What was that like? Talk us through the emotions, the challenges, the ups and downs, because it must have been extremely challenging for you.
Well, I remember. Thank you. It has been a bit of a challenge. I'd say that makes you the master of the understatement for sure. Paul and I, we had some meetings with some people in Leeds back at the beginning of last year, and we very quickly, Paul had decided on who he wanted to ask to chair the board and help to move it forward. And so we did that. He did that, and there was agreement, and we quickly, the gentleman Tariq, he was quickly able to bring in a few people from around Leeds that he knew in his sphere. Just wonderful, wonderful people, just fit the BITA mold just perfectly. And we were off to a great momentum with our one meeting that we had, and then the pandemic hit. We had another meeting that was socially distanced. We had our BITA masks on. That went rather well, and we haven't had a chance to meet in person since. But we've got 15 members, by hook or by crook, in the chapter so far, and the board is active, and we're just waiting now for the next month or two to pass, and we can get back into business.
Well, there's light at the end of the tunnel. The days are getting longer. The vaccines have hit the streets. So it's only a matter of time now, I think, before that momentum can be rebuilt. But Sarah, let's go back to BITA Liverpool and look back at the last 12 months. How has BITA Liverpool evolved because of the pandemic? And are you happy with where the organization is now?
Yeah, I think we've evolved quite specifically since right at the beginning of lockdown. I had a number of conversations with members and the board, and actually people that were just about to join as members, so they hadn't really experienced much of BITA, to say, what do we do now? What's going to happen with lockdown? How are we going to do this? And we sort of felt that there needed, because of our community feel for BITA and how we like to support each other, we felt that we needed to do something online, which we wouldn't normally have done, and weekly, which equally we wouldn't normally have done, as an area to sort of say to people, look, we're all here. We're all in this together. We're here at 11 on a Thursday morning. If you want to come and join us, bring your coffee, and just have that, almost that safe place where everyone could come and just chat. And we decided we would do it for a few weeks, in theory. And every week we brought in either a member or a keynote speaker that could advise us on what was going on. So we had finance people on talking us through what was happening and how to apply for the Sybil's loans and things like that. We had HR coming on and talking about furlough because nobody had heard of that before. I spoke about marketing, and we talked about a number of things just to really help people, but also make sure everyone had that place that they could come outside of the fact that we couldn't have a lunch and we couldn't all meet in the pub like we would every second Thursday. And we are still doing them now. So we get about between 25 and 30 businesses every week. And it's still going strong, and we have new people every week, and we have regulars every week, and we've built members through it who have never actually been to a BITA event outside of Zoom, never met us in person. But it's become a really nice community that we've built, and hopefully even out of lockdown, when we can do our face-to-face again, we are considering having this environment still as part of our offering, because it's allowed for us, like today, we're all in different parts of the country, even though we're, in theory, the three of us are in the north. It's not always practical for us to be together. So we on the call have some of the guys from Ireland joining us. We have guys from the Isle of Man. We've had guys from London joining. We've got Ola joining us today for a presentation. She is our starting up BITA Southwest. We've got a lady from Barnsley on, a lady from Tunisia who does coaching, communication coaching, and they're all joining this group on a Thursday that they would never have normally been able to do. So yeah, it's been amazing, and we're still here doing it.
And Shane, have you seen the benefit of this new medium and the ability to cross-pollinate in a far easier manner using Zoom and jumping into different BITA events where, you know, geographically, you probably wouldn't do it more, you know, routinely in the normal run of things? Have you seen the benefits of that, either for yourself or for other members?
Massively, because as you probably know, I was up and down to London to the event. I was in the Isle of Man. I love to get out and network and get around. I can do it all now from my office or from home. So I'm still interacting throughout lockdown and COVID, meeting people. So you can look at the lockdown as two ways, where you can actually be locked down, or you can still be active and get around and do things via the BITA and the Zoom channels that we have available to us. Again, with business, I think the lockdowns probably help businesses understand that we can communicate and do business with people further abroad, and very easily done, which is what we've all adapted to do. It has been hard, but we've also seen positives of the lockdown and where we can go and what we can do with the little resources we have available. So I think BITA have played a massive role in helping us understand how we can do that, basically.
And Chess, when you look at your experience in other BITA chapters, and you know, we're sort of almost through the pandemic, what lessons are you taking into BITA Leeds that you've learned from London, from Liverpool, from Manchester, etc., to help BITA Leeds really thrive and get some momentum?
I think that's a very good question. I think my role in all of this, well, not when I was on the London board, but when I went up to Liverpool and now in Leeds, I see my role as more as just trying to carry and explain the ethos of BITA to the new people who are coming into what would ostensibly been a new chapter, an almost new chapter in Liverpool, and certainly a brand new chapter in Leeds. So Sarah said something earlier that strikes the chord. I don't see BITA necessarily as a networking organization. I see it as an organization where people are relationship building, and that's part of the slogan. We're people that know people that help people. It's that last part that attracted me to it, that the help people. And I was able to add some value, and people have added value back to me as well. So it's a give and take, but it's building the relationships. And I think that it's like that sort of wheel. It builds up, and then it's going like this. And I think that's what's going to happen in Leeds in a couple of months from now, when we're able to get back in person. We're able to do a little bit more of what we want to do before this all put us on our screens. So I'm looking forward to that. I know the board up there is. We've talked about it a couple of times, and there's that beautiful tension, that momentum that's building, and it's going to explode into a lot of relationships building over the course of the next 3 or 4 months, and we're looking forward to it.
So Sarah, coming out of the lockdown and looking forward over the next 12 months, what do you think the biggest challenges and opportunities are for BITA Liverpool and BITA Leeds and BITA Manchester?
I think the challenge that we're going to have is a positive one, in a way, if you can say a challenge is a positive. I think we've got a lot of people and a lot of members that are desperate to get out and meet and get back to how they knew BITA. And I think for Ches, the challenge is building that presence But I think there's an awful lot of us around to support and build that. But I think the next 12 months for us, I think, is going to be a real shift. We'd started on a really good journey. February, when we had our last luncheon, we had 140 businesses in that room, and we were really starting to get some more traction, growing from 90 people at a lunch, right, moving that up. And I think that's our challenge now, is to almost take what we've built in the last 12 months online and what we'd started to build previous, and really make the most of that and those relationships. And I think I think we're all going to see quite a lot of cross-pollination. I've got guys on the calls in Liverpool joining London calls and supporting Orla, and we've got Brighton starting. And I think there's going to be I think the challenge is going to be getting work done in amongst all the BITA events that we'll all want to go to. Is probably going to be the biggest challenge we'll have, is making sure we can support each other, because there's going to be a hell of a lot going on. But I think it's all going to be really exciting and positive for us. So luncheons are getting planned now. London are talking about June. We're probably going to hold off till maybe September and get a big luncheon planned. And yeah, definitely see how we can move forward. But yeah, challenging but positive, I think, would be my way.
Shane, so, I see you as a serial entrepreneur, somebody who'll take a chance on something, run at it and make it a success. And you've done your fair share of networking. And when you look around, clearly you're very heavily involved in BITA, but what can BITA learn from other networking organizations, either positively or negatively?
I think Ches touched on earlier, it's the last part of the slogan, is the people that help people. A lot of networking people will sell you the dream, but I've never actually experienced what they've sold at the start. BITA never really sold anything to me. It's just say, come along, see if it's for you, if it's not for you, and see what happens. There was never any pressure. And as Ches said, it's relationship building, and that's the biggest part of BITA. So people go into network and expect to get business, and that turns me off. People, when they come up and say, there's my business card, can I do your business, can I do this? The thing is, I already have people doing these services for me, so I'd rather build a relationship with you over 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years if it is, and then give you the business. But a lot of networking people seem to go in and just push all the time, whereas BITA it's all about helping people it's a giver's gain. The more you help other people, I believe, the more you get back in return. And that's what BITA is probably at the forefront of. For me, coming onto the board, it's very easy for me to say to a friend, look, this is BITA, come along, see what you think. If it's for you, it's for you. And as Paul said, it's not a members gathering group. It's quality over quantity. And if everyone is on the same ethos, well, then it's a no-brainer for people, really.
And I can sense that there's a momentum building with the northern chapters across Liverpool, Leeds and Manchester. And Sarah, I guess as you look at the Leeds chapter as it sort of gets going in the next 12, 18, 24 months, what suggestions do you have for Chess as he sort of starts to sort of lead the charge in the Leeds area and recruit folks to come in and join and build out the organization?
I think the big thing, Chaz has been around BITA for long before Shane and I were involved. So I think, he can probably give you a roadmap for a successful BITA chapter better than I can. But I think we've just got to stay strong with this. And the big thing that I've been saying to my board, and I know Chaz will be an advocate of this, is we've just got to make sure that we support who we've got. So as those members join, as Shane said, we're not about bums on seats. It's not a member gathering organisation. It is about like-minded people. And I think my main thing is making sure that every single one of those members feels like they're part of something special, and that they really are starting to see the benefit of being part of that community. And I think Leeds is such a vibrant place. With such growth, that I think the guys, 15 members without actually having more than one face-to-face as a standing start, I think is amazing. So my only thing, and Chaz will know this already, is we just need to keep pushing, keep pushing and keep engaging with these guys and supporting them and making them part of that whole BITA community in the UK and Ireland.
Well, Jess, Sarah's put you on the spot there. You're the master architect here. So what do you think are the three key ingredients that go into a successful BITA chapter?
People, and people. Yeah. We look after our own. We tend to go deep in relationships with people. The first question we ask people is, how can I help you? Right? What do you need? It's about putting out, not about, ashamed of saying, not about trying to get in. We want to put out. I think BITA is becoming known in the various cities and towns and around the UK and Ireland. I think we're starting to become known as a community organization, not a networking group. And I think that's, if I can't speak for Paul, but I would have to believe that that's probably part of what he would want for the for the overall organization, for BITA, is to become known as a community organization. We're into the communities and we're into the people who are into the communities.
So look, I know we're tight on time today, folks. So I just wanted to finish with one question and ask you, if you were creating an advertisement for BITA and you were using 3 words to describe the organization to somebody, what would those 3 words be? Shane, you first. Sorry to put you on the spot.
People that know people that help people.
Okay, that's more than 3 words, but I'll take that.
Well, 3 slogans, eh?
Sarah, what about yourself?
Business, community, relationship.
Very good. Jess?
I can't beat that. I had 2 of them. I was struggling for the 3rd one. But Sarah's put it all together in a nutshell. That's it. That's what it is.
Business, community, relationship. I think that's a nice place to finish our discussion today. So Sarah, Shane, Jess, thank you so much for being with us today. Much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been A Bit of Business. My name is John Fitzgerald. All the best for now.